Every morning, a young man took the same bus to work. Every morning, the bus was so crowded that when he got on, he would have to push his way through the crowd to get to the front. And if he was lucky enough to find a seat, it was only to get up in a few minutes when someone else needed it more. So he always got off at his stop, angry and annoyed. One day, as he was getting onto the bus, he saw an old woman slowly stepping onto the bus. He looked back to see if there were any seats left, and there was only one seat left in the front. The young man rushed towards the seat, but as he turned back, he saw the old woman struggling to stand. For the first time, he stepped aside and offered her the seat. The old woman smiled and said, "Thank you, son. My legs are weak, but your kindness makes my journey lighter." The young man blushed and smiled back. He stood for the rest of the ride, but strangely he felt more comfortable than on the days he sat down. After a few days, he saw the same old woman struggling to stand up from her seat. This time he rushed to help her and said, "Let me get some water for you." She stopped him with a smile and said, "No need, son. It is enough if you just stand up when you see someone who needs the seat more than you do." As the young man stood there pondering what she meant, she continued, "You know, when we take things that don't belong to us, we feel guilty. And when we help someone in need, we feel good about ourselves. These feelings, son, they stay with us much longer than any material comfort we might get." The young man thought about what she had said. He realized that helping others made him feel much better than taking what others needed. From that day on, whenever he saw someone on the bus who needed the seat more than he did, he stood up and offered them his seat. And strangely enough, he never felt more comfortable than when he was standing up. Meaning, this story teaches us that true comfort does not always come from taking, but from giving. A small act of kindness can make our own journey lighter, even when we stand instead of sit. Once upon a time, a young man went to see his teacher. He was upset and frustrated. "Everyone treats me coldly," he said. "People are unfriendly and harsh. They don't care about me. I feel like giving up." The teacher listened patiently and then asked, "Do you remember the last time you looked into a mirror?" The young man thought for a moment. "Yes, I do. Why do you ask?" he replied. "I want you to look into this," the teacher said, leading him to a large mirror covered in dust. The young man looked into it but saw only a blurry, distorted version of himself staring back. He wiped the surface with his hand and his reflection became clearer. Then the teacher handed him a cloth and said, "Let's make it a bit cleaner." As the young man cleaned the mirror more carefully, his face shone clearly back at him. The teacher said softly, "People are like mirrors. If your own heart is covered in dust, anger, pride, or bitterness, then the world will reflect the same. But if you keep your heart clean with kindness and respect, you will see warmth reflected back." The young man thought about these words. He realized that the coldness he felt from others might have been his own attitude towards them. Maybe he had been too quick to judge, to be kind. From that day on, he made a conscious effort to treat everyone with warmth and respect. And guess what? He started seeing the same kindness and warmth in return. The young man understood that the world doesn't always give us what we think we deserve, but what we are willing to give. We can choose to see the best in others, because deep down, they are all mirrors reflecting our own light. So remember, friends, the next time you look into a mirror, wipe it clean not only with a cloth, but also with the purity of your heart. Let kindness be your guide, and you'll see how the world transforms into a beautiful reflection of your own soul. That's all for today. See you next time. One morning, a man went to a small shop to buy a cup of coffee. As he sipped the hot beverage, his face fell. "Oh, this coffee is so bitter," he muttered. "What a terrible day this will be," he said with a heavy sigh. At the next table sat another man. He, too, had ordered the same coffee. But as he sipped it slowly, a smile spread across his face. "Yes, it is bitter," he said, "but the warmth feels good in my hands, and it wakes me up for the day." The first man looked at him in surprise. "How can you be happy?" he asked. "The coffee is the same for both of us. It's clear that yours is just as bitter as mine." The second man smiled again. "Life is like this cup of coffee," he said. "The bitterness is real, but whether we suffer or find joy in it all depends on how we choose to taste it. A positive mind will find warmth even in a bitter cup, but a negative mind will find no sweetness in it at all." The first man was deeply moved by these words. He realized that he had allowed his circumstances to dictate his mood, and that's not the way to live. From that day forward, he made a conscious effort to look for the good in every situation, no matter how difficult it might seem. Friends, the truth is that life is full of ups and downs. There will be times when things are going well for us, and there will be times when we face challenges and hardships. But it's up to us to decide how we will react to these situations. Will we choose to see the good, or will we focus on the bad? The choice is ours. The story teaches us that we have the power to shape our own happiness. So whenever you find yourself in a difficult situation, remember the words of the wise old man. Find the good in the situation, and you will find happiness. Ignore the good and focus only on the bad, and you will only make your situation worse. So friends, always try to see the good in every situation, no matter how difficult it may seem, and always remember that a positive mind can find happiness in any circumstance. So friends, what did you learn from this story? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this story, please hit the like button. Thank you for watching this video. See you soon in our next video.